All right.
Okay, so let's call the meeting to order at 5:32. Do we want to go around? I know I'm the newest person here. Do we just want to go around and just introduce ourselves? Or Sarah, was there anyone specific that you wanted to introduce?
Oh, I usually just do it because it's a recorded meeting. So if anyone wanted to know who we were in the future, I'd like to just go around and say hello.
Sounds great. Let's go in order of when we arrived.
Okay, so then I would be first. So I'm Sarah Dufresne, Early Childhood Services Coordinator, Town of Mansfield. And that's mom, local resident, and all things Mansfield.
My name is, Jane, would you like to go?
Oh, Jane Goldman, UConn Human Development Family Sciences.
And my name is Denise Kegler. I'm event coordinator for the Mansfield Downtown Partnership. I think Jolene, you're next.
Oh, I'm Jolene Woodmansee. I am the zoning agent. I am the community development grant person for the town. And I'm gonna just take a few minutes of your time tonight to talk about one of our grant programs that we have.
Great, thank you. Shamim?
Hi, Shamim Patwa, Director of Student Support Services for the Mansfield Public Schools, and also a Mansfield fan.
Thank you. Lisa, I think you're next.
Lisa Don, the Director at Community Children's Center and Stores. I'm right with Sarah about, we could have 30 degrees for the next month. That'd be fine.
Absolutely. So I lost track after that.
I think I might have been next.
Great.
Right?
Thank you.
I'm Tracy Smith. I'm an early childhood consultant with ECCP, the Early Childhood Consultation Partnership.
Thank you. Katie,
could be me. Judy Stoughton, Children's Librarian at Mansfield Library.
Thank you.
Katie Bell, Mansfield Youth Services, she, her, hers.
Thank you.
Okay, just give me 1 second. I'm gonna read, actually, is there any of you by the computer that has the link to this meeting that can email it to Anne? I don't have access to my email right now. Hold on, I might be able to. She can't get in. I'll send it to her. I can copy it.
The Outlook invitation that you had sent early on, that link is invalid, but the link that's on the agenda that you can access through the town website is correct.
Okay. Thank you, Katie.
If you give me her email, I can send it to her. Or Sarah can send it to her.
And Pat, we were just going around for introductions. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Pat Schneider. I'm the Director of Human Services here in town. So that includes senior, social, and youth and family services.
Thank you. And I think we're just going to wait a moment for the next agenda item.
Yeah, I mean, I did try to go on with the other link too. So that's why I'm a little late. So you might have some other people that come in a bit later as well.
Yes, thank you for that. So what I'll do tomorrow is I'll just cancel that MAC meeting, that initial Outlook invite, and then I'll just make sure going forward that it's updated. That was on our old account that did not allow me to record. That was the unrecordable link, that evil one that cost us all that problem. So public comment, I did not receive any public comment, and there is no member of the public here to make a comment. So we will move forward. And next is the approval of minutes.
Great.
So go ahead, please, Denise.
I was just going to say, is someone,
If anyone.
perfect. Shamim made the motion. Would someone like second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Pat seconded. All in favor of approving the minutes?
Aye.
That's unanimous. So the minutes are approved. Going on to the The next agenda item, we're number 5, the School Readiness Council items, an update on changes to the Helping Hands program from Jolene. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Jolene.
Okay, so when I was getting ready for this meeting, I was thinking back. So if some of you don't know, it was probably about 12 years ago that I started with the town at MAC. So there are some of you, Jane, Judy, I haven't seen in many years. So it's really good to see you guys. So I think you all know that we have this program, and oh, we have someone else. I just wanted to be available if you have any questions. We have plenty of funds available for food and childcare for our low and moderate income residents. So if you have any questions, you know, I'm here, I can answer them. We've made some changes. We're available to Wellington and Ashford residents now, Coventry, Wyndham. So if you have any families, please pass them along. Also, Care for Kids, we'll accept, we can do some payments above what Care for Kids can do. So that's no longer a problem for us. So any questions, any? Nope.
Jolene, are you guys taking applications now for the food program as well, or are you waiting for the development on that for outside towns?
Yep, no, I've had several inquiries already, a couple of applications. So yes, we're accepting applications for childcare and for food assistance from the neighboring towns.
Oh, okay, that was one of the things that someone had asked me, and I couldn't remember if you were waiting to do the food.
Nope. The funds are available through December of 2022. So we have just about 11 months to spend our funds. You know, we're hoping not to have to ask for an extension from the state. You know, we hope that there'll be enough families that we can spend the money and close this thing out, you know, at the end of the year. So thank you, everyone. And I'll stay on for a little while, just to kind of listen up.
Make a shout out for Jolene's work. She's been working amazingly hard on this, has come to our school meetings. She's tireless in her efforts, has gone to families to try to get them to sign, and is really doing some strong work. So thanks a lot, Jolene.
Thanks.
And she's in the planning office.
Yeah.
Go figure.
So just, you know, just for information, we've accepted over 60 applications and processed over 60 applications. We are currently, just yesterday, we started a program where we are providing lunch for our residents at Juniper Hill Village, which has been very well received by the residents. And, you know, summer camp, I just want to give a plug for summer camp. You know, we had about 10 families participate in the program to provide their children with summer camp experiences. The feedback was amazing. These kids had a great time, and the parents got, you know, a little bit of a break over the summer. So if you're running any summer camp programs and you have families, you know, who might want a week or 2 weeks, but, you know, maybe our assistants can give them 3 weeks or 4 weeks. So, you know, please pass along anybody that you think, you know, could benefit from either the food or the childcare.
And I will also say that we work in conjunction with our scholarship program and the fee waiver. So, I mean, I know it tends to be a lot of work on the staff side as far as that's concerned. So we're really able to maximize for families during the summer when we include this program with with the other programs we have. It also, the income limits are higher than our fee waiver program. So there's people who wouldn't have qualified for the fee waiver that will qualify for this program. So, you know, keep that in mind as well.
So thanks, everyone. It's good to see everyone again after all these years.
And Jolene, it's also can be used for the before and after school program, correct? Which
Yeah,
is huge
definitely.
for families. Yeah. Okay,
Yep,
great.
yep.
I just want to get as much info as I can out there.
Yep, any state licensed daycare. So it can be, the town Parks and Rec program. It can be 4-H, it can be Holiday Hill. The program doesn't have to be in Mansfield. It can be out of town. We're doing one family at Little Lights Daycare in Willimantic. So yeah, it doesn't have to be a Mansfield camp. If your families, come to your centers for regular care and they want to use another summer camp, that's fine for us.
Awesome, perfect. And then I know you just sent out information to all the centers about how you're expanding to families in other towns, and I'm sure that they're all aware of that, but yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Jolene, can I ask a question?
Sure,
I
Lisa.
wonder if you could send around the income limit,
Oh, definitely.
family size and all that
Yep.
stuff. That would be great to resend that because it's
Yep,
been a
I
while.
have yep, it's all done in a table. It's easy to, read and it's based on income. Your income is based on your family size. So
Right.
It goes up incrementally based on the number of people living in your household. But I will definitely do that, Lisa.
Thanks.
Great, thank you so much. And thank you for staying a little longer in case anyone thinks of a question as we're going. So our next item is letter B, MAC Recruitment Initiatives. Sarah, did you have information you wanted to provide for the group?
Sure. So I just wanted to kind of circle back to our December meeting where we talked about these MAC recruitment initiatives that the OEC is really kind of pushing for fiscal year 23, and just kind of put it in your heads to start thinking if you had any families in particular that you think we should reach out to maybe become a part of MAC. If you have an advisory board at your center and you can think of a parent that's on that board that might also want to dabble in our MAC meetings, that would be fantastic. So just kind of getting the word out there as to what we do. Eventually, when we start meeting back in person, I really would like to start taking up, these actual childhood initiatives and really look forward to getting back to the roots of what MAC is. This whole pandemic's made a lot of that a little difficult, but I think having parent involvement for that would be really important. And then just kind of how we can get a school readiness council that reflects our town. We need a lot more diversity on this board. So maybe thinking of anything like that and families in particular, people in particular that you think would be a great asset to MAC. I would love just to start spreading the word around and see who we can get on our committee. Yes, Denise.
I know it's not a direct request, but I did notice in the town's this month's news bulletin, they did do a request, a general call for committees, and I didn't see MAC on that. So I wasn't sure if that was something we wanted to reach out and have us added to that list. So if people are looking for committees to join.
Absolutely. And I did see that they did a call out for people to join boards, and I did not look at the specific list. So I can certainly see and have MAC added to that. Because again, I think that once we kind of come full circle and start really working forward to some of these cool things that we had in the works back in, oh my gosh, dare I even say it, 2019, the end of 2019, it would be really great to kind of have more people on our board and do stuff. Yes, Pat.
Speaking of the Committee on Committees, one of the things they've been doing has been going through and reviewing the charges for each of the different committees. So that may be something that MAC wants to think about, because at some point will probably be called to take a look at what our charges from the council, if it needs to be adapted or changed. And I think it probably does, just because originally it was part of the, a lot of it had to do with the grant that we had. And so what we're doing now looks different than it did when we were under the previous grant. So we may need to take a look at that
Yeah,
as well.
Monica, when she first started in the town clerk's office, that was one of the things that her and I really worked hard on, was kind of getting back to where it needed to be and having a current membership slate, because we hadn't for so many years, and actually getting appointed the way you should be. So we've made it very far. And in our bylaws, not the bylaws, but in the charter, the composition is very open-ended, but we can certainly look at that stuff and look at our charge. I agree, Pat, that would give us some good stuff to focus on after the fiscal year 23 grant, because I'm not doing anything else but that until June. So are there any questions about the recruitment initiatives? If you guys have any ideas on how you think we should recruit families and get more families involved, I would love to hear them. This is just kind of one of those things where parents don't know that they should join or want to join unless they know what it is.
I actually had one other idea, and this is just from a parent, the weekly newsletters that come home from the school. I know, I'm not sure if that's a place where we might want to put just an explanation of what MAC is and information, like a contact for parents to reach out to.
Love it. I agree. Thank you, Denise.
No problem. Any other ideas or thoughts? All right. Do we want to go into, so letter C is monitoring visits, reports on recent visits to centers. I know that's you too, Sarah.
That is me. Hello. So in Tony's absence, we kind of, I went back and forth on looking for some people. I reached out to a few people, some of you begging some of you to do it, which you couldn't because it's a conflict of interest. So ultimately, and I was talking to Katie about this today, in the state of Connecticut, we were kind of an anomaly that we had this outside educational consultant that we paid for to do these monitoring visits. Most towns, their school readiness liaison does the visits themselves. And it's part of just the quality components that you oversee as the school readiness liaison to ensure that the centers are meeting those components and that they're keeping up with the requirements of the grant. And a lot of the questions that I answer on my portion of the grant is about those monitoring visits. So if you ever read my answers, it was always like, well, per Tony Masangioli's last visit, this is what occurred. And I did do this round of visits with the exception of MDD because my child attends there. So Katie did that one just so there was no conflict of interest there. And, I would love some discussion on it as to what you guys thought about me just continuing to do them in the future and kind of just having the liaison, which I am, do them. And hello, Cam, can you wait a second, please? But yes, you can have those. And just, kind of save some time. Ultimately, I know the centers very well. I know their documents. I'm able to look at all of that stuff and assure that your staff are licensed. I'm checking all of that stuff anyway. So I'm going to mute myself while I open my child's snack, but I would love some discussion on this as to whether you guys think that that's a good idea moving forward.
Well, we love having Sarah come because it's clear that you know the program and it's clear that you know what to look for. It felt really good. Your visit felt really good and your feedback was great.
I think it's also an important piece because you're often the first contact for the school readiness. So to be able to say, when I go visit the centers kind of thing. So I liked that.
Yeah, I mean, just speaking to that, I've been in your centers, I've seen your centers, I've met your staff, I know some of the families. It was really neat just to be in the classroom and to integrate with those kids and really talk to the staff. That was my favorite part of that whole experience. And I mean, I wasn't there for very long, but it was really neat to see just how a normal day goes. And it was really cool. So I would love to continue doing it. I think it makes sense for me to do it, especially from the grant standpoint that I have to write about that. It's about 50% of what I write about in the grant are those actual monitoring visits. So I don't think we need a motion or anything because it was never actually a motion to have a consultant do it. It was more or less, we just happened to create a budget and we had a person to do it, but it was never mandated by MAC that we needed a consultant to do it. So this isn't like a vote. It doesn't have to be official, but.
Right. I can comment on it because I was part of that decision when it was the previous person in Sarah's position who wasn't comfortable doing them because she didn't have a background, specifically in that in that area. So that was why, based on her request to have an outside person do it, because our previous people in that position did do those.
Yeah. And I think that the OEC has actually changed things because I know that when I shifted into the role, part of my onboarding was to do a lot of orientations with them on how to do these type things. And I did a liaison orientation that actually went over this monitoring plan and how to create a monitoring tool. So I do think that the OEC has kind of shifted gears in the sense that they are providing liaisons now with that information and a toolkit to use to do these visits. So I think it's a good idea moving forward, and I'm happy to do them. And I thought that they went really well. And, just to report on what I found, it was really neat just to see, not neat, because I know it's kind of sad, but the classrooms were really small and the ratios were really small, but it provided such great interactions between the teachers and the students. And it really gave, because every classroom had more than 2 staff, most of them had 3 staff. So it was really able to let these one particular teacher work with one student one-on-one and another teacher lead a group. And it was really great just to see those different interactions being able to happen because the ratios are so small. Everybody in my family wants to be on camera tonight. So here's Piper. Hello. Yeah, the only things that we noticed were, there was snow on the playground, so I couldn't necessarily check the equipment and things like that. But one thing that Lisa had mentioned and Aaron had mentioned was that in the spring, they always need to revamp their wood chips. And so I kind of was like, why isn't this a quality enhancement thing where we're kind of helping these playgrounds and bumping up their padding for these kids at the bottom of the slide. So it was a really neat way for me to kind of see what's needed at the centers and kind of troubleshoot. And yeah, it was great. And all the visits were great. Katie, I know you did MDDs this afternoon. I don't know if you have anything to say about that one. It was all good. Wonderful. Does anyone have any questions on that? Any comments? Anything you want to add to that?
I think just, hearing from you that other towns do it this way just makes it a very easy switch to do it this way.
Yeah, we were definitely one of the ones when I would go to OEC meetings, they were like, whoa, like you guys are high end over there. Like you pay someone to do that. So, and I mean, towns like Bridgeport that have so many centers, that's really what their liaison spends the bulk of their time doing. So we are super fortunate that I have 4 amazing centers that make that part of my job easy. So thank you all.
Sarah, can I just, I was thinking about the recruitment piece. Is that something that you could also add into the list of things that you send us on Fridays?
Yes. Yeah, and my community update email.
Yes, because parents love those. So I think that would just be, since we don't get the notices home and things like the elementary schools do, that would be helpful.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, that sounds great. So thank you, Sarah, for agreeing to continue what you've taken on, I guess.
Or just doing kind of what I'm supposed to do, but that's fine.
So our last section for this item is the fiscal year 23 grant update.
All right, guys, get ready. all my center directors, here we go. I don't have much information. We are doing a planning meeting next week, and that's like our official, where we will get the link to the RFP and kind of can see a rough draft of it. I do know that I will get that either next week, or sometimes we meet and then they give us the link by the end of that week, but I'll definitely have it mid February. And fingers crossed, and from what it sounds like, it's going to be based off of how they did it last year, which I really like. And I think that that's the best way to do it. The only reason I don't like that is that they only base it on your March expenditures and like what you guys had for your March usage. So it leaves me very little room to expand. So I can, after I write the grant, ask for additional funding, but it doesn't allow me to write for it in the grant, which is kind of a bummer. I'm going to try to be a trickster and kind of do 2 separate budgets and hand them both in and be like, hey, like maybe you'll just magically like approve me. Which wouldn't necessarily, that's what I used to do. So before COVID, I would put in what our actual amount of slots were, and then I would kind of put in my dream proposed budget, and they were exactly the same, except for the difference in the spaces, but I would break them down all the same and just show how the spaces would be used. So I'm going to do that and just hope that they can see that once again, and I say this all the time, we're a community that uses our slots. We need them. I know Aaron could use more spaces at Mount Hope. And they've really just been an awesome addition to this program. And I know that they have 1 kiddo in that slot, but that family has reached out to me several times just to thank me for how great of an experience this has been for their kiddo. And that's literally why we do this. So I think that that's what I'm hoping for. But fingers crossed that it stays kind of easy peasy like it was last year on you guys' end. I don't mind putting in extra work, but I hated that you guys had to send me all that stuff. Oh, it was the worst. So that's all I have. And I will definitely, if there's any like earth-shattering news that I find out in my meeting with them next week, I will email you all to let you know.
Great. Our last agenda item is looking at upcoming agenda items. So Sarah, do you want to talk about that, or do you want to take suggestions if anyone? Oh, okay, go ahead.
Actually, I wrote something down. Of course, I'm not going to find it now, right? Where I was like, I need to mention this today at MAC. Oh, I wanted to mention the meeting that they're having next Monday at the senior center. Is it Monday or Tuesday? About the new school, the new elementary school. So they're going to have that.
No, they had that this week. They're having it at the library.
The library.
Next
you're
one's
right.
at the library.
The library. It's next week, and it's the 8th.
But it's Tuesday.
Yeah.
It was
Tuesday,
this past Monday, right? It was Monday
It's
at the
the
senior
8th.
center, so it's Tuesday.
The 8th at 5:30.
At 5:30 in the auditorium at the library. Yeah.
There we go.
Great information, by the way. A wonderful meeting. If
You have a lot of people, Pat?
No, because it was that really cold day. We had some, but not many. And what I had suggested, because we're doing a lot of our programming there hybrid, so that people can, participate at home as well. So I believe they're going to, Kelly's going to do something after the library where it's going to be either a Zoom meeting that anybody can go in, and that then's going to be recorded, and so it'll be available for everybody. So if we'd thought about it earlier to do that hybrid would have been better. I know we would have had more people there if they could have come in virtually, but it was that very, very, very cold day.
And
also,
I was there. Oh, I was going to say I was there, and it was helpful information for someone who doesn't keep track sort of week by week on what's happening. And also I could ask questions about the preschool part. So maybe if someone's there, you can ask about that, or maybe she'll bring in more
You
things.
can always ask me about the pre-K part too, Jane.
Oh, yeah, no, I just wanted to have her mention it there at the meeting for the people who were there, like describing more about the preschool part of the program. for, everyone who was there.
And if anybody hasn't seen it, it's really a pretty amazing project. It really is. So
I casually, like throughout the week, will click on the link and just see like what's happening that day at the live build. I do think it's kind of neat.
But
So cool.
thank you, Shameen.
So yeah, I wanted to mention that meeting, and I think that was all I had in regards. Yep, Katie's got something. Go, Katie, go.
There is a joint committees and commissions meeting next week for the Sustainable CT initiative. So I know as of right now, both Sarah and I are planning on attending that to represent the Youth Services Advisory Board as well as MAC to kind of integrate the work that each of those committees is doing as it relates to the Sustainable CT. And that's happening Wednesday at 7. And I think it is open to other members of the boards and committees if they would like to join. That's being organized by Jenny. And it'll be taking place on Zoom. And then we'll kind of get a sense on what they might be looking for, the different commissions and committees to report back on in their application for the Sustainable CT. It's certification. It's a certification. It's not a licensing to just kind of look at what are the different scopes and purviews that the commissions committees do as it relates to. I think there's something like 50 some odd points for sustainability. That also includes equity initiatives.
2 other things that are going on as well as there's a wayfinding group that's, a wayfinding study that's going on in town about signage. And it's more than signage. It's really about basically how do we get families and individuals to clearly know where to go in town. So everywhere from the library to the trails to other nonprofit buildings that are of importance and significance. So you should know that that's going on. The other thing is a townwide building assessment of all town buildings, not the schools, because has been a separate project, but any and all of the other buildings, including the library, the senior center, the town hall, the community center, animal shelter. So those 2 things are going on, as well as the town's in the middle of its beginnings of its budget process. So just wanted to put that out there.
And lastly, stay tuned. We're changing up the egg hunt. I know, Shameen, that's gonna put a little pep in your step, like, woohoo, it's not going to be centered around an egg hunt. And we're looking to do some sort of like a family spring event. And we are in the beginning phases of planning that, but I'm really excited about it. It kind of took a natural evolution. I started talking to Ginny Walton, and we kind of want to center more around sustainability and around Earth Day. And just going back to what Katie said about the meeting next week for Sustainable CT, I went the last time they had it. It was really interesting, and it's a really fun experience. And so you kind of get a chance to connect with all these different organizations in town and committees and kind of see how you all can work towards the same goal, which is for our town itself to be more sustainable. So if any of you want to come, you are more than welcome to come. And I would love to have you join me. So you can email me. It's an open invitation, but it is a really neat experience because it's, town government, but it's not, and you get to use your voice. So it's really cool. I mean, it is town government, but it's not as official. So that's why it's neat.
And when is that again, Sarah?
That is next Wednesday at 7 p.m. And they do it right in council chamber at town hall.
We're on Zoom.
It's Zoom?
It's Zoom this year, yeah.
There I am. Look at me, guys. Hey, I don't pay attention now. That's why I'm Katie now.
Which it means it's even easier to participate.
Right. That's what I was thinking.
I'll send you all the link.
Great. Oh, Lisa. Yep.
I just wanted to express an appreciation for the town delivering masks and tests to each center. That was awesome. And then secondly, to Aaron Clark, who's our angel, right, Anne?
Mhm. Yep.
Who went and picked up masks and tests for several of the centers instead of having us all go and wait in line. So Aaron, bless you. Thank you
Yep.
so much.
Twice. She did it twice for us.
2 times.
Welcome. We have to be more sustainable.
There you go. That's great.
And if I can, with appreciations and recognition, want to the state recognition and appreciation for all the directors and staff with all the issues they've been dealing with as children, staff. Someone comes down with COVID and all the adjustments that have to be made and the way people have been able to handle it. So my recognition to directors, teachers, all the staff for their dealing with all of these COVID things that you get a call one day and one night and, you have to be ready to act.
Thank you.
Yeah, and then you have to be ready to update your policies.
That's true. Things change on a day-to-day basis,
Oh
don't
my
they? It
gosh.
feels like.
I start
It's so true.
I start many days saying, I'm not an epidemiologist. I don't know. We're doing the best we can.
Can we also say something about that sculpture in front of the library?
So cool. It is so cool.
Yeah.
Beautiful, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
love it.
It's yeah, if you haven't seen it, come and see it because it's getting warmer outside, so it's going to melt eventually. But yeah, the artist is a member of the ESL class that meets at the library on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And he's a sculptor, he's an artist, and so he offered to do this when he knew there was a lot of snow coming. It's just beautiful. It's
It really
gorgeous.
is. It's so cool. It's really neat.
Yeah, well, we've had some interest from some local TV stations, and we keep saying, do something soon because it's getting warmer outside. So there might be some nice exposure for him. So.
Oh, that's great. And I have to say, just as, again, somebody new with this group, thank you guys are such a very positive, appreciative group. It's very nice to hear everyone just being very kind and thoughtful and grateful. So thank you guys for all of your positivity.
I literally second that. I love when I see all your little faces pop up. I get so excited. I just feel like it's such a good little crew of people that just so feel good. And I appreciate you all for all of your professionalism and just who you are. But I feel like we all just come together so nicely. And I appreciate all of you a lot.
So I think that brings us to the end there. Do we have somebody make a motion to adjourn? Or can we have someone make a motion to adjourn?
We can.
Would
I
anyone
motion
like?
to adjourn.
All right, Ann.
Great. And do we have a second?
I don't know who moved, but I'll second if it wasn't me that moved.
All right.
Thanks,
So
Lisa.
thank you. All right. So we are officially adjourned at 6:11 p.m. Thank you guys so much. Have a great month.
Thank you.
Bye. And I'll email you guys next week when I hear anything.
Great.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Hi, everyone.